Welcome in, everyone. Today's video is going to be part of our Unusual Whales educational series. I'm going to be doing a full platform walkthrough, just kind of a cursory overview. I haven't did one of these for a while. They've added in a lot of new features, so essentially all I'm going to do is just kind of show you where everything is. I might slightly touch on the tool, but we're going to have some other videos after that'll dive deeper into each specific tool. But just kind of want to show everybody, especially if you're new, where you can kind of find everything on the platform. There's a lot of great stuff on the platform, and a lot of it kind of moves around every once in a while once they do updates, so this will be a great refresher. Or if you're new, just kind of help you learn where everything is. So let's get started here. So this is your main page, your unusualwhales.com. You can get, this will access everything you need. All your main tools are up here. Again, your main page just kind of gives you some explanations here, especially if you're brand new, just kind of tells you about their plans, their payment plans, all that. So if we go back up here, so your main tabs are going to be up here where you're going to access all your dashboards and all that. So your flow data, you're going to get your flow data, market data, ticker explorer, stock data, Periscope if you use that. Different resources are in here, your Unusual Whales tools, your option profit calculator. We have education in here, different screeners, your calendars with your Trump tracker, holiday schedules, your earnings for the week. All that is in there as well. Your extra area here, you can kind of find some info on crypto in here. You get news, futures data, political trading, their portfolios are in there as well. Community, if you want to talk in the stock talk, if you want to get access to the Unusual Whales Discord. Just some other Connect stuff in here if you're kind of using Discord, if you want to add a bot to your own Discord, all that. Your social medias are here, pricing info there, and if looking for a career, you can always apply to. So we're going to kind of dive into each of these sections, and again, you can access them all at the main page. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to be using this left side toolbar here. So you can, typically I'll leave it closed throughout the day just to get a better, more info on the screen. But for the sake of the video, we'll just leave it open. Again, these are pretty much all your tabs that are at the top here. You can get all your access in here. So up first in your option data area is your flow feed. So this is pretty much the bread and butter here of Unusual Whales. This is all your option flow. This is where you set your filters. This is where you get your live flow feed throughout the day. So every single option contract that hits the market will show up in here. So filtering this is very, very vital so you don't catch junk essentially. And I do have some other videos on filtering and all that. Not going to dive into the super deep filters in here, but again, you get all your info in here. If you save your trades, you can come up here into your My Flow. All your saved trades will come up in there. All your saved filters are up here. And saving the and they do have some preset filters here if you're new, but I have my own custom filters that I have saved up in here. So you just kind of click there and it'll pop in there. So it's just kind of your flow feed. All your filter settings are down here on the left side. So you just come over here, filter how you'd like. There's a bunch of custom filters as well, which we'll kind of get to once we get to that section. But there's some filters from like Snorlax, Jay-Z, Stonerman has a couple in there. So some of the kind of better flow readers have their filters in there, so I do suggest using those as well. We'll get there when we get into the when we get to that area. But up next, your option screener here. So another really big spot. Oh, sorry. Nope, we got to go back to options. Oh no, it did pop me there. So let me just pop that here. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. I'm so used to doing it this way. So option screener. So this is, again, they have different little tabs, little preset tabs here. If you're looking for deep conviction puts, unusually bearish options flow, different credit trades, cheap calls, put sells. Now again, please keep in mind, not everything like if you come into the cheap calls, not everything in here is a buy. There is, and if you've watched the live streams, knowing that not all ask side flow is a buy, and not all sell flow is a sell, or bid side flow is a sell, you have to do your due diligence here, so you don't just pop open that cheap calls and say, oh, they're buying snap calls, they're buying FCX calls. You have to kind of do your due diligence and go in here and kind of get an idea of the flow. There's multiple videos on reading the flow, but you can get all your data in here. I have, again, custom filters. You can set up all your filters here. You just come up here, you'll save it, and they will stay in here. So I have like my hottest contracts on the day and my highest volume, more skewed towards the ask. And again, just because it's ask side, I preach this all the time, doesn't mean that it's a buy, and just because it's bid side does not mean it's a sell. You have to go in, do your due diligence. So that is kind of your options screener area there. Superflow, another really great area here. This area you can, it's great if you're limited on screen space here. So like you can add new windows here, and like let's do like the market tide. You can add the window. So essentially if you have only one monitor, maybe two monitors, and you want to get some more data on here, you can come in here and customize the format how you want. You can auto arrange it. Well, if I get one more in here to do it, but essentially you can come in here, like if you want to add in different volume, all that, you can arrange it. This is really, really good, especially for those that are on a laptop, especially too. You can get your flow alerts here, get all that there, and I believe you can also get Periscope in here as well too. I don't have a Periscope program or subscription yet, so oh yes, right here. So if you're looking for Periscope here, so you can add in as many of these as you want, and you can auto arrange it, and it'll kind of fit it for the best method there. It'll split them out evenly, but that's your super dashboard there. And again, just kind of lightly touching on these. I'll do deeper dives on these videos as well. But Superflow, really great tool if you're limited on screen space. Contract lookup, another very bread and butter area that you can be looking for. I use this because I have a lot of people asking me for contracts for the day. So there's a couple ways you can look up your contracts here, and you got a stock watch list in here as well. Your options watch list. I don't keep much on this, so mine's a little empty there. But so if you're looking up contracts, like let's say you wanted to look up something in Apple, like let's do Apple, you can just easily type it in there. You can hit your search there, and it's going to pull up all the highest volume contracts for the day right away. So you can see all those highest volume contracts for the day. Again, you can filter this if you want. If you want to look at it by premium, you can come in here and kind of change your filters again as well there too. Another way I like to do it too is like, let's say we want to look at the AMD 215. You can also just type the strike in and the date as well too, instead of kind of just going through the drop down there. Whatever way works easier for you. I kind of switch between both of them. So that is your contract lookup area. Again, just type in whatever you want. If you're looking for a specific contract, very easy to find it. And they'll all save over here, and typically I clear everything at the end of the week because it'll get a little congested over there. Your Open Interest Explorer, again, another really great tool here. Open Interest updates at 7:45 Eastern time, so you get those updates before the actual brokers typically update. So if you're looking for flow in the morning, really great tool. You'll get that flow way before market open. And again, you can filter here, and that's one of my biggest things is telling people to save their filters so you don't have to kind of sit and always mess with them. But like I have my ask side filters, I have my bid side filters, and you can always go back to if you want to look at open interest on another day. And most of these tools as well too, if you just scroll over them, we'll have to find on a different one, but essentially if you scroll over a lot of them, there'll be some highlighted info as well on them. So like if you look at NVIDIA, obviously everybody kind of knows what NVIDIA is, but you scroll over that name, it's going to kind of give you a little brief summary on that name. And you can also come over here too. So there is an info tab. It'll give you a very good deep breakdowns on what that area is in that dashboard, wherever dashboard you're in at the time. And another great thing too, and this is with the flow feed as well too, you can always customize your columns here too. So this is in the flow feed as well, same spot. If you want to change the position of something, you can just drag and drop it here so it would change up here. You can, again, everything on this site is 99% customizable to your liking. So my settings will not probably be the same as your settings. Your settings will probably not be the same as your friend's settings, and so on. But this is your open interest explorer, and you can come in here and kind of look by ticker as well too. So if you're looking for a certain ticker here, if you're looking for certain call side volumes, and again, if you just kind of hover over the stuff here, I'm trying to find one here, it'll be on a better one. Usually on the more kind of complicated dashboards, I'd say you get a better breakdown. But this is your ticker explorer in here. Contract open interest, I spend a lot of time in there in the morning. Again, your filters are down here on the left where you just kind of set them up here, and feel free to take screenshots of the filters here if you want. So next up is your flow alerts here. So your flow alerts, and what's different than this versus the flow feed. So on the flow feed, I'm just going to pop back to that quick here. So on the flow feed, you can see how this rule tab here, and now you can see when you highlight it, like it's going to, just do a little cursory overview on it. It's going to pull up data on that. But like your rule, so we'll see what this rule says. So this is a flow alert rule, and let me pop this up here too. Oh, we'll get to the info here on that. I always get ahead of myself in these videos. If you've watched a lot of my videos, I usually go off on tangents a lot. But so the difference between that flow alerts and the flow feed. Your flow feed is catching everything that comes in. Your flow alerts, it has to meet a certain rule to come in, essentially. So now when we go back to the flow alerts here, when we look at our rules here, here are your rules for the flow alerts. So like if it's a sweep, it has to hit all these parameters here to actually show up on that flow alert, essentially. So if you want to filter out the ones that aren't flow alerts, it's a great channel to hang out in. Again, all your info on all that is here. How it's all calculated is down here. I'm not going to explain how it's calculated. That is out of my pay grade. But when we come back here, let's go back to the flow alerts. You can see here that all that rule here, I mean, you got your repeated hits, ascending fill, floor trade large caps, repeated hits, low historic volume floor, and just all of that here. And again, I don't use this channel that much. You can see I haven't been in there since late January or July. But again, this is all down to filtering too. You have to make sure your filters are set. If you have wide open filters, you're going to get a lot of junk in here. So you can see a lot of this junk here versus when I had my filter on here. So let me just pop this back to today then. So then you can see how it kind of condenses all the flow to maybe more flow that's actionable to you. But again, really great tab. I spend most of my time in the flow feed because I like to see everything, not just a flow alert. Interval flow. This is one that Nick Stonerman really loves using. Again, that interval flow. This is flow that is coming in a very short interval, essentially. Kind of try not to use a word in the definition, but everything's essentially coming in there in a 5-minute interval span there. So again, fully customizable here to your liking. I will come and look in interval flow every once in a while too. Again, I'm typically on the flow feed here, so let me just pop this back to today, and you can always go back and look to its specific days. So like here's Fridays. Again, you can see probably all this on the flow feed as well too. Flow feed is my biggest area. Again, I keep hitting on that, but interval flow, again, really great tool as well too. All comes down to filtering as well. Your 0DTE flow for the 0DTE traders. Just come in this dashboard. You can, again, everything's customizable in here. You can just come in here. I mean, you switch it however you want to customize it. Again, I don't use a lot of this dashboard. I am not a massive 0DTE trader. So up next, the net flow. Really important channel to kind of be working with here. Looks like they're doing some updating on it right now, so I'm not going to dive super deep into this one, but essentially your net premiums here, so it's going to tell you that if those puts are ask side or bid side, if those calls are ask side or bid side. And you get a lot of data in this dashboard as well too. So again, here's your net flow. You get your top chains by volume. You can get your net premium by expiration, your net premium by strike. So this is really good for those that are kind of looking for maybe a certain expiration that's seeing a lot more bullishness, bearishness. If you're looking for a certain strike, it does help you kind of weed down to the correct area. And again, you can just come up here if you want to look at AMD, then you just click in AMD, it's going to pop that up here. And it's all in there. And again, you can filter all this again as well too. I pretty much would just leave the filters wide open on that. So up next, into our next area, we're going to look at the market data section. Again, a really important area. So this is where you get your overall market tide, and this is going to be one of my next videos in the educational series. This is a really, really great tool. You get what your tickers are doing on the day, and again with this, you can always go back to. You can pick a day and go back to it and look at it. If you want to look at the historical move on a day, really great to do that. You got your SPY, QQQ, all that info up here. Your top net impact chart and your market tide. So these are two of the bigger tools that I watch here. Your top net impact chart here. I like to leave it on this. You can switch it over so you can see it by premium size. I like visuals. That's one thing I love about Unusual Whales. They are very, very great with adding in visuals, so you don't have to sit there and kind of do the math on things. Like essentially here, if I'm looking at the market tide, I want to know what names are kind of producing more right now. So like Meta, okay, this is the one doing the biggest impact on that net call premium there. So this helps to kind of, it gives you a really quick visual of maybe how strong a move is. So like if the market's down and you only see one massive top net impact there, you might think, okay, well, it's a little weaker drop and so on. But really great area here, and you can always replay the tide too. So if you are new to Unusual Whales and kind of want to see how that tide moves, like here's replaying it from Friday, you can just kind of see how that moves, and it helps you learn and get a good visual on it. So below here, I have this market sentiment gauge here, really key to watch here. Sentiment usually drives the market. Again, I wouldn't just trade based off market sentiment, but it is something to know. You can get your breadth down here as well too. Breadth is just how many stocks are advancing, declining, all that info there. I have my sector flow over here too. Always important to kind of see what the sectors are doing. I have my news here. I have my seasonality here. And you can kind of look at different averages there as well too. ETF in and outflow. I like to see my top gainers for the day, top losers, any unusual volume, and you can just see how it's easily right there, and you can just easily read it right there. So that volume, it's all right there. It's really nice. Most active, you can see your most active names. Post-market, gainers, losers, they have this in the morning too, where it's pre-market. And one of the great things about this too, you can come up here and you can add widgets in here, and you can switch them around, all that as well too. And also, the one thing I like about this too, having it just on that kind of dashboard, I can come down here if I want to look at all the top gainers on the day. I just come down to my top gainers section, click that little arrow. It's going to pop up in here. And again, I can filter out how I want to see these names. If you want to look at the biggest option volume on the day, just easily come up here and take a peek at it like that. So like Tesla, biggest options volume on the day there. If you're looking, like if you want to look at net premiums, again, just easily filter that there, and you just can kind of get all your data. This is really, really great, especially for those that are really data driven. Great area to look at. So let's go back here to the market tide section. So that is your market tide section. Just one more quick little overview here. So that is your market tide, and this will be one of the next videos in the educational series. Institutions here. If you're looking up certain institutions, it's going to give you information on whatever the institution's doing. You can see their top 10 increased positions by value, whatever else you want to filter. Again, a lot of great filters in here. You can look at the top holdings here. Just lots of great info in here. If you're, especially for those that like to follow the institutions, you can also come up here and swap it this way too as well. Just lots of different excellent tools in here. And you can also, for the institutions, you can kind of filter those out a little bit as well. And you do have some other data in here too as well. So you can look at your halts and pauses on the day, economic calendar. It's going to pop me around to some of these other feeds too here. So let me actually go back. We're going to stay on the institutions. We'll go back. But you can get other, I mean, you can see your market stats, SEC reports. It's going to bring you to that area over here. So I'm not going to try to get out of the way too far there. But your institutions page, again, great area to follow institutions. Political trades, one of my main tools that I watch here. Again, following politicians. It's not financial advice or anything, but politicians are the one that make the laws. They kind of have an idea of what's going on. And again, you can filter this how you want. I leave filters wide open on this one. You can see all the recently disclosed trades. You can also, if you click on their name, it will, I gotta bring you to the other area here to actually do that. So, oh no, so yep. Like if we're looking at Mark Wayne Mullen, it's gonna pull in just all his trades there. And I believe, no, you can see their portfolios. We'll get to that in a different area. I wasn't sure if you click on that, but nope, it'll just show you that specific politician there. So again, good little area there to follow politicians. I look at these every morning. Stock screener, self-explanatory. If you're looking to screen stocks, this is where you saw that the highest gainers on the day are what we were looking at in the market tide area. This is essentially that section here. Again, you can just screen it here. You can see where Meta's filtered actually where we were in there. News feed, again, very self-explanatory. All your news is popping in here. News is running 24/7. You can see it's 12:06 here, and you got news coming in there. And you can also filter it by headlines too. And if you want to only get major news, you can also do that too. I'll keep it wide open for the most part. Sector flow. So again, this was on the market tide page. This one you get kind of more detail on it too. They can't fit everything in there. It gets a little too scrunchy, but your sectors flow page, I spend a lot of time on here. My main thing is kind of monitoring that volume against that 30-day average here. You get all this info in here as well. You can also drop down each sector and kind of see what name is moving, might be dropping, etc. there. You have net premiums here by that sector as well too. So like if you wanted to look at financial services net premiums, that's their net premiums for Friday. You look at tech, so on. You just kind of go on through that, and it'll tell you that top technology tickers by net premium as well too. So like if you switch this to consumer defensive, it's going to pop over there. And you can also come down here, and if you want to compare different symbols, like if you want to compare just SPY to something else. Like, let's say we want to compare SPY to, let me just clean this up quick here. Like, let's say we want to compare SPY to just Apple. I don't know why I always pick Apple or AMD. But it'll show you how Apple moved against SPY there. So really good tool there as well. ETF overview. Again, it's going to give you that heat map. You'll see what that name's doing. Just gives you a lot of information here about that specific ETF. So the S&P 500 here, and you got your top holdings by weight. It's going to show you your sector weight, your SPY buyers versus sellers here. So a lot of great data in here as well. And you can switch this, like if you wanted to do, you want to look at QQQ here, just pop that up and all your data's in here as well too. Analyst ratings, these are updated as they come in throughout the morning. I keep an eye on here. You'll get all your buy, hold, sell ratings in here. Again, you can filter it however you'd like. Futures indexes here. So it's just going to tell you your futures information, commodities, indexes on a global stage, commodities, CFDs, and fiscal overview here. For those that kind of like more of that Fed data here, they've got info on the treasuries here, just kind of showing you what they're doing a little bit. You've got the yield curve here, your central bank current rates here, and it tells you when that next meeting is. Any Fed news coming in, rate history here. Go back here and kind of look at it for the bigger countries here, England, Japan, so on. Your U.S. economic data here. And, oops, let's go back down here, sorry. Like if you wanted to switch it here to the inflation rate, you can just quickly look at that there. You want to look at GDP here. You can see GDP has been going up, obviously. Again, inflation. You can, I mean, there's a lot of different tools in here, too. So like the 30-year, you want to look at the 30-year mortgage. You just see how that's kind of moving. All that's in there as well. Market stats. This is another great tool to visualize what's going on in the market. Your yellow dot here is obviously that same day, so you can see it's 12.5. Today's 12.6. It's Saturday. But you can see where that dot compares to on the month and previous months as well, too. So it gives you a great idea of kind of maybe how strong the market is that day, so on. Like your total premium traded for Friday, you can see it's on the lower end here. And just kind of looking down here, I mean, they have everything total volume. You just see that, well, that volume picked up towards the end of the day, but we were pretty light here. But for the most part, like you look at December, you can see it's been a lower volume month. Just easily kind of look at this data, and it helps. It's very, very helpful and useful. And just, it's a lot of information, but it's very vital in today's trading. Your market heat maps, pretty self-explanatory in here. You can also customize your heat maps. I'm not going to dive into that in this video, but this is just your S&P regular heat map that you see all over the place. You can do it for a week. You can go back and do it year to date if you want. See what's up and down year to date. And switch back to today. And just scroll down here, and again, you can customize them as well. So into our next section now, we're going to go into the screener section. Stock screener, again, we looked at this one already. Option screener, again, we looked at this a bit already. This is where you can kind of set up your screener settings. Your sector view here, again, can kind of change that, how you want to look at different sectors, if you want to look at percent gainers, so on. Options watch list, I don't have anything in here to show, but you can just add your chain if you're looking for a specific contract. Stock watch list, essentially the same thing as the other one. If you want to create a watch list, start adding in different names, you name your watch list there, and like if you want to look at, again, it's going to be Apple. Change Just do it like this. So then you'll get Apple in there. This is just, I mean, however many names you want in there makes it very easy to see certain names you want. Custom alerts for those that would like alerts sent to their mobile device, so on. You can set it up for options, different flow alerts. Again, very customizable alerts. Like if you're looking for a flow alert on ticker, Apple, so on, you just put in your information that you want here and you will get that alert. Market maps, this is one of my favorite areas as well to look at. I actually do have a deep dive video on this one already, but essentially, again, you can filter this how you want. I like to leave them wide open just so I can see everything. But this gives you a visual of names on the market. And you can, again, customize this however you want. You want to look at price and volume. I like to look at the volume on the day, and I like to look at the percentage move. So your volume's here, your percentage move is here, and you can customize it however you want, again, as well. But you can easily see where names are moving essentially here. So like Netflix, okay, I look at Netflix. We have a lot of volume today and we're down 2.89%. That could tell you, hey, this is a strong move down. I'm going to look for maybe a short position if Netflix pops up again. It's just different little tools. It helps you find names that are sticking out more so. Performance here, just going to tell you how different names are performing, pretty self-explanatory. Seasonality, I like to look at this every month. Just come in here, you just pop up that month year that you want to look at. It's going to tell you the big S&P 500 names here, so like NVIDIA, it'll give you all that information there. So the screener section, a little quick there. Your stock data section, stock data right here. So your dark pool feed, for those that like to look at the dark pool feeds, great area to look at that. So you got all your dark pool info in here. Again, fully customizable on the left side here to your liking. Whales feed. This one's a little new. I haven't actually used this page yet, but it looks like it's just finding large whales essentially here. I haven't used this page, so I don't have a super good breakdown or explanation for this one, but very interesting page here. Kind of looks like it's related to the dark pool stuff. Halts, pauses, we looked at these already. Insider trades, I spend a lot of time in here as well too. Again, you can filter it how you'd like. I like to look at sales and purchases, and it'll tell you them all as they come in throughout the day. And that Discord bot, if you have your own Discord, you can always put it in there too, where they'll update. I like to see them all combined essentially. And it's all comes down to preference. Periscope here. So this is where you would find Periscope here. You'd set up all your settings in here. I currently don't use Periscope, so I don't have any major settings on here, but this is your big Periscope area. Switch your day, your time frame, all your info here. You want that straddle on, so on. Market exposures table. So this is also new where they're adding this in with Periscope. So this just came out, I think, this week, but it's a new ad in there. Delta flow, more info related to Periscope here. Your resources area next, or calendars area, resources. So your earnings calendar, I come in here and take a peek at this every day as well. I'll typically look at it at a list view so I can see that day's earnings. And again, if you just want to look at a certain day, like if you want to just look at Monday, just come in here and can scroll over, see more data on it as well. And if you click on the ticker as well too in the earnings, it's going to pop up another earnings tab here. And you can look at the previous 16 quarters, earnings per share, your financials, just kind of your historical earnings data as well as down here. So let's go back to the earnings calendar. And you can look at it by IV. All that fun stuff is in here. I'll typically look at it by market cap. Trading calendar. This is your calendar. It's going to tell you just kind of some different names on what's going on. here. So December, obviously next week is the 9th. So like we have FOMC next week. It's on the calendar. Economic calendar here. This gets updated every week. So the big main events will be posted in here. Holiday schedule, if you want to know what days the market's closes early, if we're off a certain day, just popped it up in here. Dividends, this is another channel I like to spend time in. You get your expected dividend dates, your pay dates. You can filter it by week. So if you're somebody that likes to play dividend stocks, great channel to hang out in here. FDA calendar, for those that like the bioengineering, all that fun stuff, you'll have your FDA calendar in here. Trump tracker, so for all the Truth Social posts here, they'll pop up here. You've got your SPY price, and just give you like what happens during some of the posts and all that here. It's pretty fun to watch sometimes. You got the POTUS schedule here, so tell you what he's doing, or scheduled to do at least. And you got your tariffs here, so just your tariff information, what's going on, all that stuff there. And you've got $100, this is new, I actually haven't seen this. Is pretty cool. Biden versus Trump for the growth of $100 invested at start of presidency. That's cool. That is absolutely awesome. That's cool. So obviously a little shorter term so far on that, but really cool data in here. So up next, we're going to look at the Ticker Explorer area. So overview, this is going to give you that overview of whatever stock you put in. So like, again, we'll look at Microsoft here. So if you want to look at Microsoft, you can just type that up in there. And you can just type this up in that search bar anytime. You don't just have to come over to that overview and do it. But this overview channel, very bread and butter when you're looking for names. You get your net premiums. Again, you can filter them out, see how far it, go back up to 30 days. You can switch it by strike premium. If you want to switch it by average volume, again, you can switch it however you want, and you get your daily stats on that name. You get a lot of data down here, so you get your performance, that 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, year to date, so on. Your highest volume contracts on the day will also be popped down here, and again, if you want to filter them, you can just come back here, click that arrow, and it will bring you to that specific name only. Your highest open interest contracts, your historical Microsoft data. I like to come in here, I'll look at that 30-day volume, the volume, what we're trading at, it's that 30-day average there. Again, your net premiums are all in here, a lot of great data. Gamma is down here as well. You got news on the name, options and off-lit volume here, what analysts are doing, insiders. So all that information is in here. It's really great, and typically I'll use the bar up here, and I just kind of like to pop between them and look at different areas there as well. So we're going to go back to the overview page, and again, you can get to that any name. Like if you're even in the flow feed here and you want to look at Apple, or we'll do AAP, I keep picking Apple, it'll just bring you right to that overview page if you just come up in that search bar and type there. So your Gamma page here, again, this will change for every name, and you can access that right up here, and or searching, like, okay, we'll do Microsoft one more time. It's just going to be up here. Otherwise, you can come up to that overview here. It's on the right side here under your options. You have your stock stuff here, options here. So I typically will just come up here and hit that, or I hit it on the tab up here. Can also get it from here. So Gamma right here. You want to look at AMD. AMD's Gamma. So you got all your spot information in here, details here. You got a live Gamma exposure level here. There are programs that charge $1,000 a month for this stuff, but it's all right here in Unusual Whales. You got all your Gamma levels in here. You can see your exposure by strike, exposure by expiration in here, and your largest Gamma by strike and expiration here. So really great tools, especially for those that like following Gamma levels and don't want to pay $1,000 a month. A lot of info in here, just great tool here as well. You can look at your delta, charm, all your charm info in there, Vanna info there. Just a lot of great info in there and very, very affordable in unusual whales. Earnings, again, this will show up that earnings for that specific name here. We kind of touched on that. Insider transactions, like if you want to look at AMD insider transactions, it's a very detailed breakdown. It'll tell you what whoever's selling, so on here. Gives you a good little chart to look at. You can also look at it like on a 1 month view, so on. Oops. My computer froze. Look at that. Okay, there we go. So let's come back here now. So financials. Oh, my internet's being slow. What is being... Okay, there we go. So financials here, it'll tell you that company financials. And again, all this is at the top here as well, too. So you got your AMD revenue by product if you want to look at product information, revenue and net income, region revenue and breakdown. Just a lot of excellent data in here, especially for the investors here. And if you want to switch the name to it, just easily come up here and, like, again, we're going to go to Apple, but a lot of different data here. It's very, very immersive in what you can learn. And you can also look, like, if you want to look at the shares outstanding, I mean, there's a lot of great info in here. Net premium, again, we kind of looked at this one at the beginning. This is your net premium chart. Just your Apple net premium by expiration, all that in there. Stock talk. This is if you want to post about Apple, whatever, so on. Just kind of people post in here throughout the day. Charting here. Unusual Whales also has built-in charting. If you want to look at Apple, you just come here and hit that chart at the top. It'll just pop that specific name in here. Filter it out how you want. Switch your days here, your different views, different studies, whatever you want. Volatility here, so it's going to give you your IV rank, all that info in here. So different stuff for those that kind of like following the gamma. Lots of data in here as well. That's a cool one, crash probability one. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of cool data in here. Options chains. So like if we're looking at Apple here, it's going to give you your total strikes. Just kind of whatever you want to look at in here. Like we want to look at the calls and puts here on the 12.5. Well, we don't want to do 12.5 because, like, say we want to look at the 320. Just come over here. It's going to, again, can be accessed up here. Your options chains, you got your puts here, calls here. Open interest changes. Again, this is just on a deeper dive than the kind of the main one. You can see those big open interest changes. You have it in a grid format. You can also look at it in a chart format. I like the chart format a little better. And we'll still be down here. And you get a lot of data in here, like your highest open interest increases by percent. Again, numerical percent there. Seasonality. You can see that Apple seasonality by year here. Your distribution. Again, fully customizable how you'd like. Your average growth of $100 invested at the start of the year. Average returns, distribution, more distribution stuff. Your Greeks here, so if you're looking for the max pain and all that, this is where you'll get that here. Max pain is just down here at the bottom here. I'll usually look at this on SPY on the day, but you'll get all your data here, and you can switch it by week as well, too. Your risk. Again, different charts. Lots of different data charts in here as well for those that like to kind of monitor that stuff. Your yearly drawdown duration. So just a lot of great info in there. Options charting for those that want to chart out the options here. Just a lot of great info in here as well. Analyst ratings, so this is just going to pull up your ratings on that specific name. Again, we're on Apple. You get your actions overview. You can see there's a lot more buy recommendations there. Your price targets and performance. You got what the recommendation is here, and just kind of showing you where that price is and all that, where they're expecting it to be. Short data here. So if you're more so like if we were looking at like a beyond here, this is where you'd want to kind of use this data. So again, just come up here, click on your shorts. If you're looking at short interest, again, great little dashboard here for that. So that takes us to, we're going to go over to the portfolio manager now. So your portfolio overview manager here, again, I don't have anything in here. This is it is a demo account here, it looks like. So like your account overview here, so it's going to tell you your realized profits, losses, all that stuff in here. I don't have anything hooked up to this, so obviously you're not going to be able to see my info, but just a lot of data in here if you want to kind of track your own stuff. Retirement calculator, kind of cool to look at here. If you want to link your broker in here, you can look it in here. I actually use Webull, so oh hey, they do have it in here now. Cool. That's cool. Okay, well I will have my portfolio in here. Awesome. So up next, your unusual tools area. So unusual tools here. Let's pop this back. So your options profit calculator, really cool if you're kind of looking to see what your contract can be at on a certain date. If you're trying to look up different strategies and how they work, you get all that info in here. You can just kind of click it in here. Like if you wanted to put Condor, you just kind of come in here and start filling it out how you'd like. You got your table here. It'll show you how that percentage would be and so on there. Paper trading, if you want to paper trade. And there. Portfolio backtesting in here, so just kind of some other info in here. API, again, if you into the API stuff, that's good. Let's see the options analyzer here. So we'll look at this one. So like if you're analyzing that strategy, it's going to kind of pull up that info on there too. So if you're kind of just got a question about a contract. Education, really great tool to look at. This is great for beginners. You have a lot of information in here, just options pricing, advanced Greeks, options strategies, like if you're looking at different strategies. Snorlax has written a lot of these. Very great follow on X, very excellent flow reader, probably the best one around actually. But a lot of info in here. Portfolios. So this is where you're going to get your politician portfolios in here. And if you want to look up, like say you want to look up, like if you want to see who's holding AMD here, it's going to kind of tell you what they're doing with that name. You got different portfolios here. And if you are looking for a specific person, so all the politicians are in here, like let's say you wanted to look up Dave Portnoy's portfolio, you can also look him up in there. So you can look up all your portfolios in here. You want to look at Pelosi, everybody's favorite trader. So you just come in here, you get that info there. And you can also, the cool thing is you can filter that list by return. So if you want to follow the highest returned people, there you go. And I do follow some portfolios, as you can see. Bots here, this is again more Discord related. Discord bot, I'm not going to go on those. Option strategies, again, just kind of telling you the different strategies you can do if you're a multi-leg trader. I don't trade multi-legs. And they do have, again, beginner information here as well too, like immediate. If you're a beginner, you want to look at advanced, so on. Market heat maps. Again, this is your heat map. And we are going to move on to the charting tool here. So very self-explanatory on the next one here, charting tool. Again, this is just your chart here, built-in chart. You can easily just chart it out in here versus switching over to a different name there. Prediction markets. So Unusual Whales did partner with Polymarket, so this is very, very new in here. We don't have any major updates on this yet. So your data access and APIs. So again, API info there. Data shop here. So you can download different data here as well too, and I believe you need the lifetime sub for this. Or not the lifetime. I think you need the annual sub for this. I'm on the lifetime. I've been using Unusual Whales since like 2021, 2022. So I mean, I'm locked in for life. But all your data here is in here. Getting more data downloads here if you want to look at your options flow, all that info in here. So okay, historical data is available to download by retail pro subscribers. Okay. So I had to think there. I was like, I don't fully know what one that hits, but you can get all that data here. And then the cool thing is it will pull it into a spreadsheet for you, and you'll have it all right there. Enterprise solutions there. Media, again, politician trades, all that in here. You can see how the 2024 congressional trading report, so on here, a lot of that data in here. Again, you can see all their historical reports in there as well. If you use Tasty Trade, you can hook your broker up right to Unusual Whales and trade right from the platform. If you want to advertise with Unusual Whales, investor relations, stuff that people don't really care about in this area. So miscellaneous, stock talk. So this is really cool. So this is where you can kind of get your filters and all that in here. You got your new, so different accounts in here, like Snorlax, there's Nick, Dan Wagon, they're a really great follow, very good at spreads, all that fun stuff there. So just again, some more stock talk in here. Want to look at what's trending, just different stuff in here. It's really cool and informative here. You can look at popular accounts in there, all that in there as well. Let's go back down here to our miscellaneous. News, again, news feed here. Featured news, news feed. Futures, more consolidated here. Short data. Again, if you're looking at shorts there, and just kind of search as well. Any different alerts in here as well. I don't typically use this channel that much anymore. You'll get these all on the flow feed as well. Your hunt, whatever you're watching for your watch list. AI, if you got a question about AI, like, again, here we go. Let's do a new chat. Like, let's do AMD. We want to look at Q3, and we're going to look at 2024. So, like, you want to add that in there. If you want to ask a question about the financial statements, it'll help you out there. It's all AI generated in here. Alt data. Again, just kind of some extra alternative data that might be interesting. Some gas and crude oil info in there. Crypto, I like to look at here. Can see what's going on in crypto. Can see what your crypto whales are doing in here. Crypto options, volatility, a lot of info in here. Again, just lots of data in here for those that love that. ETFs, just ETF info in there. NFTs. And if you want to gift anybody an Unusual Whales subscription, you can do so. The holidays coming up, that might be cool. Merch, if you're looking to buy anybody some merchandise here, they do have a merchandise area as well. They have apparel, homeware, different accessories, drinkwares, bottles, just lots of cool stuff here. If you're looking for a gift for somebody, really cool area. beach towel is pretty cool. I'm not doing that here in Minnesota right now. Let's go back down here. So we were, okay, so that was the merch. So your Unusual Whales community page. This is where you'll get your different filters here. So all your recommended, not recommended, but your big filters are here. So this is Snorlax's Ask Side filter. You can see this has the most likes here. Really, really great. Jay-Z's Degen Earnings filter here. So for those that like the degenerate earnings there. And just different little filters here. And you can also add in a filter here if you want. And you can put in a description here. So it's really good if you put in a good description there. But lots of different tools. And you can chat here throughout the day. Everybody's chatting in here. So it's essentially the Discord without the Discord there. Your shared chains. People can share their chains here as well too. Really cool area in there. And information hub, just again, if you want to browse something by the topic, so on. A lot of info in there. But this was just kind of, and your change log, last but not least, up here. Keep up to date with the ads on Unusual Whales. So like earlier in the, when we were talking about the Periscope add-on, here it is right here. This was just added in the second. And you'll get all the updates as they populate in here. But essentially, I just want to do a kind of a updated walkthrough here on Unusual Whales. There are a lot of great tools on here. If you're interested in trying Unusual Whales, I do have a 10% off discount code that you can use as well. And we will be continuing the educational series. I think we're going to do the Market Tide next. So we'll do a deep breakdown on Market Tide in the next video. But other than that, that is all I have as we head into 2026. Great platform to use. You'll get everything you need from this platform. Very, very fair price too. But that is all I have. Have a great weekend, everyone.